Well, good morning. Thank you for coming out. We are here today, New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers, in partnership with the Yemeni American Merchants Association and the Independent Drivers Guild. Members of all the organizations are here, as well as Deputy Chief Brian McGee. Yeah, sorry. And we are here first and foremost to offer a reward of $5,000 for anyone that could give us information on who committed this brutal beating on our brother Mohammed. I will allow for you to ask any questions once we go through the process here. And I'd like to thank Dr. Debbie Al-Muntasser, and she will introduce the members of the Yemeni American Merchants Association due to pronunciation. It's a lot easier. But we're here, first of all, to express our concern. I want everyone here to know that we are very upset. We are angry. We're pissed off that a brutal beating like this could take place in the city of New York. We're furthermore disappointed that this happened 4 weeks ago, and we were just recently told a few days ago that this incident had happened. Mohammed has laid in a coma here for quite some time, 25 days in a coma. And for no one to know about this incident is appalling. So I'm asking the NYPD, Commissioner Shea, to please work closer with us. We have the best police department in the world. We know that they solve whatever crimes are committed. We know their capability, but we believe that if we would have known weeks ago that this incident had happened, we could have become partners in catching or finding whoever committed this crime. We are asking anyone, including those involved, to come forward and let NYPD do their job and arrest the person who committed this brutal crime. New York City has become a very dangerous city. It's not what it used to be. And we need to make sure that our drivers, when they leave their home every morning, they can return home at night to their families. Today, there's a lot of uncertainty. If you don't get robbed, you get assaulted. If you don't get assaulted, you get murdered. And guess what? It's unacceptable. We have a lot of people that care about our drivers. A lot of passengers we transport in New York. And the fact that anybody could assault a man that's alone, that's defenseless, that is just out there working, is something that we cannot tolerate. $5,000, I am hoping, will bring and ring a bell and hopefully allow for the NYPD to get the tips necessary or the witnesses necessary to come forward and tell us who committed this crime. We appreciate the fact that Deputy Chief McGee is here with us and is concerned about the situation, but he will probably give you answer whatever questions you may have. I'd like to, at this point, turn it over to Dr. Debbie so that she can introduce everyone else that is here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Debbie Al-Muntasser. I am one of the co-founders of the Yemeni American Merchants Association, a nonprofit here in New York City representing Yemeni Americans who are merchants and community members. It is absolutely devastating for us as a community to learn of Mohammed Al-Gahaffi and the situation that he was in. He came to our attention a couple of weeks ago through an immigration case, and shortly after, we started to investigate what happened to him. And because of our investigations and prying and asking for answers, we were able to find out what actually happened. And this is the result of us being here for this press conference. Mohammed Al-Gahaffi is one of probably 800 to 900 Uber drivers, livery drivers in New York City who are of Yemeni American background. And so this is a priority for us as a community to make sure that they have representation and they get the justice that is due to them, along with their colleagues who are livery drivers across the city. The Yemeni American community within the month of February has been devastated with tragedy after tragedy. Just a couple of weeks ago, we dealt with 2 bodega shootings, and today we are here demanding justice for another fellow Yemeni American. So we are happy to stand here in solidarity and make sure that our brother gets justice. So I want to turn it over right now to our president, Abdul Mabaraz, who will say a few words.
Thank you very much, Debbie. And thank you all for being with us today in this sad day that basically, you know, our community coming to this press conference and to talk about another incident that happened about Mohammed Al-Gahaffi that was basically been beat in his taxi, his Uber taxi, and brought into the hospital without nobody knowing anything about the crime, especially in our community. So once we found out about Mohammed Al-Gahaffi in the hospital of New York Presbyterian, we came in and tried to find information. It was very tough for us to get really what happened because Mohammed was in a coma. In a coma, he couldn't say anything to anybody, and we didn't know anything about anything until we found out about his case. We called the New York City Police Department to try to find the case, and they gave us some kind of information. And today, we want to thank everyone that came in, the Drive-Bills Guild, and also representative from the New York City Police Department. Hopefully that this press conference by us, you know, give him $5,000 for anyone that will give us any kind of information about these criminals. And what I think that they already have, they have pictures of those people that were in that taxi cab that beat Mohammed Al-Gahaffi. And hopefully that hopefully they will turn themselves in and bring themselves into the police department so that we could, Mohammed Al-Gahaffi could have peace, Al-Gahaffi have peace within his family. Mohammed Al-Gahaffi been working in a taxi for a long time. He's got a daughter right now that is still in Ethiopia, and he's got his ex-wife over here. So we all working together to really find these criminals and brought to justice. Thank you very much all for being here with us, and hopefully that this press conference will bring justice for Mohammed Al-Gahaffi.
Thank you, Brother Abdus Salam. Next, I'd like to call up the nephew of Mohammed Al-Gahaffi, who will actually say a few words on behalf of his uncle, Mohammed.
It's been a bit devastating to know what happened. It's been a bit devastating to know what happened to my uncle a few weeks ago. At this point, it is almost more than 25 days ago. But I wish I've been there to him a lot of times. And whatever happened to him, he doesn't deserve it, because he has been a great man to a lot of people. And it shows around with us around here. Everyone here knows him personally, that he's been kind to a lot of people. He gives and doesn't ask anything in return. Thankfully, right now, he's been recovering, and hopefully we'll get to hear his voice soon. For now, we'll just pray that he gets up, and for whoever is responsible to be delivered justice. That is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to also now call up our Executive Director, Abraham Ayash, who will also say a few words, especially on what we are doing as an organization to help reunite Mohammed Al-Gahaffi and his daughter, who he petitioned for and is actually stranded in Ethiopia.
Good morning. I want to first start off by making sure that we see what's behind us. Muhammad will not be another statistic in New York's crime log, but instead we want you guys to understand the story of who he was and what exactly happened. Think about going out and trying to make a living, and in doing that, it almost cost you your life. Muhammad was simply providing a service to the folks who then decided to make a mistake and assault this man, and his life might be forever changed. I want you to think about what it means to be in a coma for 25 days, nearly a month, and we don't know what his condition will be like. So we are here to show our deep love for Muhammad, as you can see behind me, but also express our deep anger and frustration with the situation that is currently in front of us today. Muhammad had a daughter not even over the age of 21 who left the war in Yemen and fled to Ethiopia. He applied for a visa for her to come into the United States so that he may be providing for her here in New York rather than struggling to send money, wiring it over and over again abroad. Unfortunately, that visa was denied. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with his daughter. But what I can tell you is the Yemeni American Merchants Association will stand side by side to make sure that his family will get all of the resources that they need, both here in New York City and also his daughter who's currently in Ethiopia. And I want us to understand that for those of you watching, and if the perpetrators are watching this as well, do the right thing. You made a mistake. Justice has to be served because, like you, he has family that depends on him. Like you, he was someone who was simply trying to do something with dignity and respect by providing a service, taking you across New York City in the cold, and unfortunately, they knocked him out, and we don't know what the outcome will be. So again, the Yemeni American Merchant Association is proud to stand with so many community members, with so many other partner organizations, and cooperate with the New York Police Department to make sure that justice is served, that resources are provided for those who are suffering, and that those who committed this crime will be apprehended and they will be caught. Again, if you have any information, we want to urge folks. We're not trying to incentivize, people to do more crimes so we can come out and ask folks to provide more information with more rewards. That is not what we want to do. We'd rather use our resources to instead support the communities that we serve. So, again, we encourage anybody watching this, if you have any leads, understand that he, like many of you, is just a working class New Yorker who is trying to do the right thing, providing a service for others to then provide for his family. And unfortunately, that work of livelihood almost cost him his life. Thank you.
Well, now I'd like to open it up to questions. If anyone has any...
Brendan?
Brendan.
Yeah, where's
Okay.
Brendan?
Oh,
Sexton.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'd like to introduce Brandon. He's from the Independent Drivers Guild and a huge supporter to the drivers. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out here. The Independent Drivers Guild is out here in solidarity with our brother Mohammed. Mohammed went to work, like we all do, expecting to go home when his shift was over. Over 500,000 drivers, over 500,000 customers a day take these rides. They call them the rides, they jump in the car, and they get to their destination, not realizing the dangers and perils that drivers face every single day. Whether it's drunk passengers, racist passengers, passengers just fighting in the back of their seat, drivers every day have to deal with these perils. We launched our Driver Bill of Rights demanding safety for drivers. Rear view cameras supplied by the app companies would stop a lot of these attacks. One touch 911 assist will allow the police to respond much more quickly to the location of where the driver is. It is a travesty that we have to stand here and talk about driver safety and talk about Mohammed being in a coma for 25 days and the perpetrators are still not apprehended. We all have a duty in our communities, and we need to make sure that we find these perpetrators and bring them back. And we will stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters to make sure that this happens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brendan Sexton, Executive Director, Independent Drivers Guild.
I'd like to invite Deputy Chief McGee here so that he can say a few words and maybe give us an update as to what's going on.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Deputy Chief Brian McGee. I'm the commanding officer of Manhattan North Detectives. I'm going to read a statement about this investigation that's going on. On Wednesday, February 5th, Mr. Mohammed Al-Gahaffi, a male 54 years old, was doing his job as an Uber driver. He picked up a scheduled fare in Queens County, and from our investigation, from video canvases, it looks like 6 people entered his Toyota minivan. They proceeded into Manhattan, and during the trip into Manhattan, it's when one of the individuals in the rear seat was becoming loud and he was drinking alcohol inside the car, which Mohammed asked for it to stop. At one point, while traveling in the vicinity at 4:25 in the morning in the vicinity of East 62nd Street and 2nd Avenue, the individual who was arguing with Mohammed jumped out of the car. Mohammed stopped the car and got out of the car, and that's when he was punched by that individual. That individual then fled the location. Mohammed was brought here to this hospital where he was in critical condition, and as you know, what's being said here, was in a coma for 25 days. What I want to let you know is we released some pictures. Those are the people we want to speak about. They have valuable information, we believe, for this investigation. The 19th Precinct Detective Squad, specifically Police Officer Moses Yang, has been working tirelessly since this incident happened. He has treated it like his own family member. We ask the public's help. We ask that you call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-577-TIPS, with any information that could put us over the top in this investigation. Police Officer Yang is very close in identifying this person and making an arrest. So that we ask the public's help. We stand in partnership with the doctor and Fernando, who we've had a relationship for many, many years. We stand here in partnership to bring justice for Mohammed. We please ask you for your help.
Thank you. Thank you. If there are any questions for anyone here, please feel free to ask.
Yes, Fernando. Is there anybody with the family who give us a little bit of biographical information? Is he married? How many kids? And the age of the daughter who's in elsewhere?
Sure.
Yeah, just a little bit about him.
Little information about his family.
Yes.
Muhammad Ali is 54 years old.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, how you doing? Muhammad is 54 years old. He have a daughter. Is like 23 years old.
No, she's 21.
She's 21.
Yeah.
And she's in Ethiopia study as in college. And he take care of his family. He have like 5 sisters and a lot of nephews. He take care of all his family back home. He's an American citizen, and he been work for taxi for almost more than 20 years. So what else?
Let me say. I'm going to give you a little more information about Muhammad. I know Muhammad for about 25 years. When he came to America during the 90s. As a matter of fact, he worked for me on 7th Avenue and 36th Street. And this is the time I know Muhammad. Muhammad is a great person. He's a religious guy. He cares about people. And after he was working for me, he decided to work as an independent, not working for somebody. And he started working as a yellow taxi driver. And then after that, maybe he started with Uber. That's who is Muhammad. Muhammad is a great guy and a very nice guy. And when we found out that he was in the hospital, the whole community came into this hospital and visited him.
Thousands of people come and visit him every day. Since the first hour, I was aware with him, since when they called me from the hospital. So I've been with him every day. We have come a lot of visits, like thousands. I mean, we can't stop people to come from all over New York, from Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, all the mosques, because he's very active in the 96 Mosque Center, yes. And he's helping everybody who need. I mean, he never stopped helping people for free. I mean, for his time, for his money, and help his family. I'm very upset for him, you know, this happened to him.
Can daughter be brought here to visit him?
Yes, we call her. We call her.
So he recently applied for a visa, which was denied. We're in the process of trying to see if we can reapply for a visa for his daughter. We are also exploring options if she can come temporarily to see her father as well.
Can you tell us the extent of his injuries? Like, I know he's in a coma,
Yes, he's up, but he can see us and know us by sound, but he cannot speak until now.
Yeah.
I hope by a couple of days he can speak and something or give us any signs to speak. So until now he's not speaking up, but he know by the face. That's about it. He move his legs and hands, and he have a piece of bone in his head taken out, and they're gonna release it with some metal because he was in very bad shape because he broke all his head until the bottom of his jaw.
So cracked skull, bleeding in the brain, and he was trached during the coma as well.
to reduce swelling, do they do something to him?
Correct. So they will be replacing a piece of the fractured skull, as we understand, some synthetic material. Beyond that, I can't speak on what it is and what the procedure is either.
We'd like to take a moment and thank the doctors and the nurses and the people that are taking care of him here every day. They've done a great job. First of all, keeping him alive, I'm sure, was a task. But they've done a great job here at Presbyterian Cornell. And we, as a community, are very grateful to the doctors, as well as we're also very grateful to the 19th Precinct Detective Squad that's worked tirelessly to track these people down. Detective Yang, whatever support he needs, we will give it to him. We just hope that we could have done it sooner rather than later.
Is there any crowdsourcing or GoFundMe type efforts?
Can I
Sure, of course.
So we're in the process of expediting his situation with the Black Car Fund to provide resources for his family. We're trying to see also if we can provide resources as well to reapply and get the visa going for his daughter. And I believe the Independent Drivers Guild is also providing some support for the family as well. So we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's, making sure that we're going to grab as much resources, as many resources as we can. We want to remind folks that he was the primary provider for his family, particularly his daughter and himself. So this is going to take a community effort. Yama is also standing up to make sure that whatever the family's going to need in the meantime, whether it's getting an attorney to help with the immigration case or to see what other resources he can have post, this hospitalization, because we anticipate it's going to be a long recovery, lots of therapy as well, and we don't know what motor functions that he will have back. Obviously, we said that he can see and hear us, but he's not able to respond audibly, so we are waiting to hear back from the doctors. He just woke up, I believe, a couple days ago, so it was just Friday night, or I believe, was when he finally woke up. So he was in an induced coma up until that point.
I want to say something. I want to say something.
No.
He's single right now. He's divorced.
Do you have a photo of him?
We send photos out.
Yeah. And if you go to the Yemeni American Merchant Association, Yama, Facebook's page, there is a photo of him, a profile shot of him, and then his current condition as well.
So there's one person responsible for the crime. However, there were other people with him that could help with the aiding in this investigation. We're looking for one specifically to arrest, and the others we're looking to see if they'll come in and cooperate and speak to us to give us. So we've had several tips have come in since the media release. Prior to that, the investigators have done really, really good work and are coming close, and I believe arrests are imminent in this case.
We've gotten a couple of pictures of the group that's being sought. Can you tell us what the suspect, the main one that you're looking for, was wearing? There was one with a blue jacket or something.
Sure. The one, I don't have the picture with me, but the one with the braids is going to be, I believe it's the last picture on the right, to the far right. He is the person we believe is responsible for the assault.
And you got all this from video within the car?
So no, there was no video inside the car. It's from video canvases in 2 counties, Manhattan and the Queens.
And the rest of the 6 people fled after this assault?
We were able to interview one person that's not in that photo. We were able to interview one person so far that gave us a general idea of what happened, plus several other witnesses that we found on the street that had nothing to do with being inside the car. They were just witnesses out on the street on East 62nd and 2nd.
Do you know where they were headed for their final destination, intended destination?
So that we don't, we had a general vicinity of somewhere in Manhattan. We don't have a specific location. We're subpoenaing records from Uber for that.
He's asking, was it a party or was it an Uber pool?
I'm sorry?
Was it a party or an Uber pool? Were they all in one party?
It was one party that ordered the cab and 6 people got into it.
Oh, because when you said that you'd spoken to one, you figured you'd be able to figure it out easily. So is that a witness that's not cooperating?
One of the
well
reasons
enough?
why we're here, is we're looking for cooperation from anybody that witnessed or has information in relation to that, yes.
So there would have been a witness that just wasn't telling you everything that they might know.
That's what we're hoping this generates.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We could have you say your name. I think you might have already, but.
Yeah, the name is Abraham Ayash, Abraham. Last name Ayyash. Executive Director of Yama.
Okay, yeah. And then right next to you is someone who spoke that I don't think we were introduced.
My name is Abdsalam Saeed, EBDULSLAM, Saeed SAED. I want to thank everybody come today for Muhammad Ali, and I thank Yama and Brother Abdsalam and Sister Debbie and Dr. Ibrahim for everything, for helping us to be with us, and this for today.
And when he worked with you, what do you do for a living? And he was working with you.
He never worked for me. He's my good friend from when we was like 7 years old, from Yemen. Yes, and we was playing soccer, and he's my good friend. So I don't know for 25 years. I know for when we was 7 years old. So he's my good friend, and he's honest, and he's not supposed to do that. I mean, it happened to him like that. I thank Yama, and I thank Yemeni from my heart. Really, they stand behind us. Thank you very much, and thank you all of you for your coming time for this weather.
Yes.